What's going on, Tamers? It's your boys, the host of the DigiPod, the digital podcast. Today, my co-host to the left or right, whatever you see on, is Gino, as per usual. How's it going?
What's up, everybody? Doing okay tonight. It's a nice warm evening. It's finally starting to feel like spring for a change. So that's pretty cool. How about you, Dan? What's up with you?
Yeah, always good to have good weather around the corner. Today it was hit in the 70s, so it was a beautiful day outside.
I thought we were going to get rain, but I don't think it ever came through.
No, we definitely it was shiny, no clouds in the sky for at least where I was at, for sure.
As bright as a shine Greymon.
That's what they say. Real quick though, audience, this is a quick question for y'all, because they always say, you know, the audience watches like the first minute or whatever, about a minute to half. So we're gonna get this question out of the way for y'all and leave a comment down below on the answers to this. Do you guys care if our pods are about stuff that's like week or two after the time frame that they came out? Like, do you care if it's, you know, on time things, or there's like, man, they did that topic was like 2 weeks ago? Like, do you care about that type of stuff? Let us know in the comments below, because that might change things for us depending on how things, what y'all think, at least.
That may or may not be a subtle dig.
No, it's just a legit question. Just a question. But anyways, besides that, outside of that, locals, pretty fun.
Yeah, not a bad locals. I went X1, 2-1, I guess. Dan and I are getting ready for the upcoming regionals that's coming up this weekend for us in Virginia. Dan actually has 2 regionals because he's doing the online one the night before, and then the daily one. I think I said this on,
man for that.
I think I said this on pod already, but I didn't want to do it because there's going to be 3 of us that are doing this regional, and that would be 3 internet connections if I also took a slot up on that regional, and we don't even know how our Airbnb internet is going to be. What if they don't have internet, Dan? What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I'll just go on my phone and be like, "Hey, yo, you got the win," and then just go X3 drop at that point.
Get your participation at least.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I didn't want to throttle the internet as well, and you know, so I'm just going to chill. Obviously, we'll play on Sunday for the big in-person regional. In-person is better anyway, in 100%. My opinion. But that's neither here nor there. Locals. So like I said, we're getting ready for regionals, so we're playing regional ready decks basically. I decided to play Puppets. I'm on the fence about what I want to play. It's either going to be Puppets, Vortex, or Jessmon, most likely. Those are my 3 strongest decks, I think. The 3 decks that I'm most comfortable with and familiar with in the meta. Puppets is just really freaking strong. I don't think people really know how to play around Vortex, and Vortex can just turn off some decks. And then Jessmon is like my baby, my tried and true. You know, I know the deck like the back of my hand, and I can pop off like crazy with it. So those are the 3 decks that I'm thinking about. It's probably going to be Puppets, but I got a whole week to decide. Anyway, so I ran Puppets. Round 1, I played against Dan. Dan is on Millennium. This is a really hard matchup for, I think, any deck in the game. I think Millennium is an extremely strong deck. I think it only has a kind of weak matchup into Styraco, and that's pretty much it. Because Millennium's really like, unless you go, especially with Puppets, unless you just get your OTK really fast, Millennium's going to crack back, and then you can't really answer their board. Or like you have to have very specific pieces or techs to deal with a Millennium on board, which is something that I'm experimenting with right now. I'm on one of what's that card called? Sistermon CL, the one that suspends Digivolve. That's good because you can alliance before you run attacking and then get the Digivolve, so that you don't have to remove the Millenniumon, and then Millenniumon pops out another one and ends your turn and eats your board and all that stuff. So that's what I'm experimenting with, and I think I won game 2 and you won 1 and 3. That sounds right.
Say again?
I think you won game 1 and 3, but I won game 2.
Yes, correct.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
So game 1, I pushed out too early when realistically I should have just stayed in the back and gone for a big pop-off turn. I was kind of in this mindset of like, well, if he doesn't have it, I can just make a big board here, and then if he doesn't answer it, then I'm okay. But he was able to, because it was kind of early in the game that I pushed out. And then game 2 was one of the worst games of Digimon I've ever won, because I didn't have anything. I literally just played Searcher. I was basically playing the option narrative rond just over and over. I had 2 on the board, and I think a training by the time Dan had set up a Millennium on, and he had already chipped me a couple of damage, so I'm like, I need to push out now, and I still didn't have a level 4 in my hand, so I'm like, if I don't see it, then I just lose anyway. So I pushed out with like 4 memory or something, and I played another narrative rond, and it ended up finally finding my piece. And then from there, I was able to do my whole big pop-off combo. Just all my resources were stacked, so I was able to OTK him from 4, because I think I had played a Searcher at some point and chipped with it. Which is, just enough. Digimon really is with some of the best decks right now. Chip 1 and then kill from 4. And Puppets is no exception, although Puppets can do from 5. It requires a little bit more. And then, so in that game, the Sistermon came up and did exactly what it was supposed to. Dan had set up a Millennium on. I played the Sistermon. I got my Alliance Digivolve. It's kind of fun because, Central has the 2 Digivolving effects: play a body and then play tokens, and then also when Digivolving neg. So in that situation, you choose to neg first so that you don't kill the Millennium on, and then you play out the body Alliance, then do the second neg, so that you're dealing with the Machine Dramon or whatever body they put underneath. In that situation, it was a Machine Dramon. And then game 3 was just another game where I did not find a 4. Like, I run 8 4s that are good, and then 3 4s that are like basically tech choices. And if you don't see them, you don't see them. Like, I can play all the digging cards that I want. Actually, in that game, I think I counted them out. I said, Dan, I play 15 cards that search. I didn't see a single Searcher card. I didn't see a single training. I didn't see a single emblem. I didn't see my Searcher rookie, or it might have been the only rookie I had, and I chose to Evo it. And it's like, variance is variance, and sometimes you don't got it. So Dan can talk more about his perspective of when we get to his side of the locals, but I ended up losing that one 1-2. Round 2, I played against, was that Lucimon, or did I play Lucimon round 3? Did I play round 2? I think it was Lucimon.
You might have had a bye.
Oh, that's right. Round 2, I played
Dylan.
against Dylan. So Dylan had built Shine Greymon. He does not have the new Shine, I don't think. So he's playing basically just straight out of the box AD01. Me and one of our other locals
Reprint
buddies.
version.
Yep. Me and one of our other locals friends, we all just pulled together all our Shine Greymon cards because this guy's pretty new at the game. And he came up and he's like, hey, I can build Gamamon or I can build Shine Greymon. Which one should I build? And I'm like, there's no question here. Like, Shine is a lot stronger of a deck. Even putting aside AD01 cards, like, Shine is just a stronger deck. So we pulled together all of the old pieces because, we all have those pieces already, and threw them together for him. And then he threw the deck together. And that's what he was playing. He didn't really know the play lines yet. So after game 1, I had a really bad game 1. I didn't see my combo, but I'm like, he doesn't know what he's doing. I bet I can just kind of wing it. And that's kind of what happened. But after game 1, I'm like, hey, this is the combo. You get this Geo Gray, slam this Marcus, get the free Evo, get your, you can do like 5 checks on this turn if you have everything in your hand. So I showed him the combo. And then game 2, I think he only ever found 1-5, and I ended up removing it. And then he couldn't really recover. He was stuck just with like Marcuses and stuff. And he was playing the Marcus that on play, one of your Marcuses becomes a 3k blocker. And a lot of the times what was happening is that I had the temporary familiar token on board. So he would set up his Marcus as blocker, and then my familiar token would die and just take out Marcus. So removing a lot of the power plays that he could have done. And then, game 2, I had the big pop off, did the whole OTK thing. Round 3, I played against Lucimon, and this was actually a very interesting match because I've been playing Lucemon a lot lately. Actually, now that I mention it, when I went to our casual locals, I played Lucemon, but I was missing a couple pieces, so I was playing like a janky version of Lucemon. But I'm playing a lot in the sim. I've been hanging out with Lucemon, my pal, my satanic friend, and it's pretty cool. It's a very fun deck. I think it's still a little slow. The new cards are really nice. The Dynasmon and Lord Nightmon go crazy. They're just another way for you to get your end of turn Lucemon, put your 6 in, get the free Evo, which is very, very nice. And it's really a skill check deck. It's, does your opponent know when it's smart to burn their resources or to just let the opponent have the burn and recover? So I know how the deck works. I know how to play around the deck. So it's not really a challenging deck, I think. Depending on what's going on.
Especially once you understand what's going on with that deck.
Right. Like, oh, do they have Paradise Lost like in play, or could they have play Paradise Lost? Like, that's another 1 to 2 checks you have to think about potentially. But as long as you keep yourself above water and don't remove your important resources, you're in pretty good shape. So I actually just got my Lucemon stuff in the mail today. I got my Lucemon X's and my Satan mode. So those are the last pieces I needed. So I want to edit the deck and give it a try, but not at regionals. It's not a regionals ready deck for me, I don't think. Although, did you see the data for, I think it was the Oceania regionals? Someone did play Lucemon there, so someone gave it a go. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I played against Lucemon, and game 1 is actually really funny. I decided I'm going to go for the early pop-off. I have everything here except Central, but I have Kaguya. And Kaguya puts a very interesting situation on the board because he's going to do a Lucemon effect that says, you may delete. I'm going to say, yeah, I'll delete, because now you have to kill your Lucemon. Or, trigger his protection, which is just security burn for me, which is good because the security is very threatening. A lot of the time it's play a Lucemon. If the Tamer comes out, that's a crazy effect if you have anything on the board. So lots of crazy stuff can happen. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to make you burn your resources as well. So I built my huge Kaguya board because I had like Marays on the field and I did everything. He goes to Dynasmon. Dynasmon removes your entire board as puppets because all of your bodies are under 6K.
Okay.
So Dynasmon,
the new Dynas?
Dynasmon says if you have 4, yep, Dynasmon on play. If you have 4 more Lucemons in your trash, or Lucemon and texts in your trash, you can play for 6. He comes down by burning your top, I think it's top or bottom security, neg 6 on the board.
Oh, the next 6, blank in the next 6. Okay.
Remove everything. Then, all turns, when one of your security is removed, you may delete the lowest.
Doesn't pop it. Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's just like a puppet killer. Okay.
Yeah, it's complete board wipe. Destroyed my whole board. I had like a 5 or 6 wide board with Kaguya on the field, and I'm like, I just win next turn if he doesn't answer this. And he's like, Dynas, and I'm like, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
But somehow I was able to come back. So, because next turn, so he gave me 4 memory to do that play. Next turn, I hatch Evo, set up my resources. His next turn, I put him to 1. His next turn is a 5 cost. Now I have 4 memory to just, with puppets, 4 memory. Listen, you can do everything you want with puppets with 1 memory. So 4, I'm thriving. So I just built a whole nother big board. I remember, I don't know what game it was, but at some point he had a Lucemon on the board and a Lord Nightmon, and he made Lord Nightmon immune to effects. So I ended up going into Central, burning Lucemon, and then I ended on Nyaboot because Nyaboot is DP till the end of opponent's turn. And so I'm like, okay, neg 14 or whatever or 15 on that until the end of your turn. And now you have an empty board again. So puppet go crazy, as you guys all know. I'm sure you guys have played against puppets or are playing it yourself. It can be very mean, very nasty, very fast. And that's why I'm considering playing it for regionals. It's very frustrating when you just don't see your pieces, though. Like, you have 4 good level 5s, and if you don't see that specific level 5, you're kind of on the back foot unless you have all your resources set up. You have to see those resource cards. You have to spend time playing those resource cards. I know it's tiniest violin for the power level of the deck, but I'm just saying there are drawbacks to the deck sometimes. A ruin mode can lock you out of the game a lot of the time because you really, or like a Digimon Emperor, because you really need to push your 3 and then Evo into your 4 and get all your effects. So, um, you know, there are other ways to play around stuff, but yeah, I love my puppets. I had a good time playing puppets. I ended up getting 4th with my 1 loss because Dan couldn't win. If Dan had won, I would have been bumped to 2nd or 3rd. Dan, how'd you do?
Ah, man, misplay for days on Sunday. Not really. It was just one misplay, 2 misplays actually. The first one actually almost cost me the game against you. So like you mentioned before, I played Millennium on. This is the deck I'm bringing to guaranteed to the in-person regional. I might do it for the online one as well. I'm not a fan of playing Millennium on online or webcam just because the interactions with that deck is very interactive with your opponent's board state. And I just hate having to like fan out your graveyard, figure out what to play when I can just go across. All right, let me see your trash, go
Right.
grab it myself, and then do it. And it's just so much quicker in that way. So I'll talk about what else I'm considering afterwards. But for Millennium on, we're against Gino, played against Puppets, as you know, because he already talked about it. Game 1, yeah, he mentioned he came out early with it, and it was a weird play because, or at least I thought it was a weird play. I thought maybe he could have did more damage, and maybe that would have helped him in the long term, where he didn't swing when he raised his Central because he passed me with like 1 or 2 memory, and I thought
Oh, I
maybe he would
remember
like
what happened.
overclock.
I
Oh
remember what
yeah, because
happened.
I popped your champion. That's what it was.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't account
I think
for
you
the
so you
Deltamon on
kill.
delete.
Yeah, so I had Delta on board at this point because in this version, when you're playing like the Pagu and the Gaza Giza package, I like to board control early with the Deltamon. So if my opponent decides to raise a rookie early, leave a Uka on board, hard drop a rookie when they have one in the back, or even play a champion out early or something. I like to go raise Delta, go into either one, raise the Gazi or Giza, and then go into one of the Deltas and then kill it and then keep board control in that way because I'm trying to set up as well. So if I can slow your chip damage down while I'm trying to set up, that's good for me. So that's kind of like the idea when it comes to that version of the deck. That's why I like it because the Delta interactions is really good for the deck because people sometimes don't realize if you have the raid Delta on board with the retail inheritable, guess what?
That
Anything you got
removes
that's
your
big over
biggest
there,
thing. Yep.
I'll just swing into it willy-nilly, sacrifice it, get rid of your stack, no problem, and then I could pop off or something. You know, it's like things like that.
Sure.
You can do a lot of different things, and people don't realize that when it comes to playing that version. Because a lot of times, I don't think it's as common now because of Chitose, but like prior, you saw a lot of like the Uko Demi Devi's version with like the DM champion, sometimes with a couple of deltas here and there. I just think as a whole, like it's not as much gas, but it gives a lot of consistency with having the ability to evo into a champion. And if you need to evo into an ultimate, you have that ability to. If you need to, you prefer not to, but you know, there's times where it happens, and I've done it. I've done it a few times, but yeah. So he did that. I raised the delta. He went pop off. He got a puppet and a champion on board. Not puppet, token, I should say. And then on delete, I get my rookie back, and then I pop his I think it was a seal sister mine, I feel like it was.
Yeah, so
And I
my
guess maybe
play,
that's what
I mathed it out that I forgot that Deltamon was going to kill it because my play was mathed out so that I passed him to 2 and I played Sistermon CL, gain a memory, and then my plan was to overclock, steal turn back, and now I have another 2 checks. But with CL gone off of the Delta deletion, which I just completely forgot about, if I overclock, I kill the only other thing on my board, which at that point was just a familiar token. And then that's just
Correct.
1 measly check, steal turn back to do another measly check at 12k, maybe technically 15 because your security I think was negged 3. But like Like what is that really
Doesn't really do
doing?
much.
And like 90% of the time I'm probably going to hit a resource option anyway. So I'm like, oh, well, with that happening, I'm going to choose not to overclock and just leave you at 1 and hope you don't have everything. But at that point, I think you already had Insane set up. You had a rookie in the back, and I know Millennium was in the trash, but
No, I don't think I had a rookie in the back, but I did have a Chitose on board, and then I think I hard dropped a Millennium on, and then was able to do a loop, and then put you to like 2-3 memory with nothing on board, basically.
right.
And then I was off to the races after that, and then I just won next turn. Because the one thing about like that version of Puppets, where it's really central focus and the OTK, is a very glass cannon-esque deck, right? You deal with it because the thing is with that deck, you have to use all your resources in that one push. So you lose you do your emblem, your bomb decking, your miraes, you're doing all that. So you have this wide ass board. Like, don't get me wrong, it's well worth the resources when you build a board of like 5 Digimon board, right? But if you have something like Millennium that can go, all right, let's de-digivolve, pop, 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 and now you have, oh, the only thing that's left is maybe a token on your board that dies at the end of my turn. Who cares? It doesn't do anything to me really per se. And so now you're stuck having to rebuild a board while I'm just like, all right, next turn, 2 checks Millie, Moon Millie, trash security, maybe swing with something else, and then like, something for game or whatever, or loop it back for game. And so that's kind of what happened. That's what I try to do. Might be a little risky depending on how crazy they can get, like especially going to regionals, but it all depends on what the board state looks like. Then game 2 was such a weird game for both of us because obviously he was bricking because he mentioned it before. I wasn't necessarily bricking. I had plays. Well, the problem is if you got nothing, I don't want to do anything because then I kind of waste resources myself by doing things that doesn't benefit me per se. It's very weird. So like I had setup going, but not full setup because the one thing I was missing, which is arguably the 2 most important pieces of the deck, obviously all of them are important. Let's not act like it's not. If you don't have BT18 Millennium on, you're not keeping turn, and that was my biggest issue the whole time. I was like, oh yeah, I can do A, B, and C, and then what does that leave me? I'm giving him 7 for no reason because I can't even keep turn. There's nothing in his trash either. But like, even if he had something in trash, it didn't matter because I didn't have that one. And so the biggest mistake, and I asked you the question on when this token does, and I completely forgot about it, and I didn't even think about the memory I'm giving you. So basically, what happened was you end up making a board of like you accidentally made a board, I should say, of a Shushumon and a token, because I think I hit it out of security. I think that's what it was, and so that happened, and I'm at 2 memory, and you told me token dies at the end of my turn, and I forgot immediately, and I go Evo Delta for 2, put myself to 0, raid over to Shushumon, and then hard drop, not hard drop, but insane Millie for 5, which was the wrong play, because that 5 memory is actually what you needed to win the game that turn. And then, because if I don't do that, I just go insane, go put you to 3. You have to hard drop your Shumon for that search that you were looking for. And then now you're in a position where when you Evo, you have to pass turn at that point. It doesn't matter, even though you have all the emblems, you're passing turn no matter what. And that cost me the game, realistically, doing it that way. I'm not sure, like, I just kind of blanked. And the moment I did it, and after I did it, I was like, that was the bad play. It's going to cost me the game. And then you end up raising, you search, you went to 2, you found what you needed, and then you popped off. And the icing on the cake you mentioned was the stupid system. I was like, he found the one thing that outs my board. Because the whole time I was still confident. I was like, I might lose this, but like, he can't de-Digimon. He has me negging me. And then because I just found that Millennium on after like that play or something. Like, no, I didn't have that motherfucker. No, didn't have it. I had another promo in hand. So I would have you would have killed it. I play Machine and Chimera. Machine de-Digimon board. Chimera kill a 3-4-5, and then I go into the promo again, de-Digimon something, kill something again. So that was my play. Because I was like, he has to neg it to that. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or questions about this. And then when I saw the search, I saw the search you did with it. I was like, ain't no way you hit the one card that asks you right now. And then he did, and then Digivolve kills. I was like, I was salty because I was like, I had this in the bag and I just threw this because I just didn't think about the play, kind of really. And so going to game 3, I was like, damn. Because anytime I throw like that is when I lose, usually a match, especially in like something like that. Because that happened in when you played Puppets last time with Sean. I threw for no reason game 1 and got cooked game 2. So it's like, shit, I gotta make sure I have a good hand.
Gotta keep your
play.
mental.
I ended up having like a good hand, a good starting hand, I think it was, and it just, you were a little bit slower out the gates, but like I had gas, I think it was, and I just went popped off. It didn't matter what you had really, and then because by the time you did have something else, I think you went to Kaguya at one point. It wasn't even a central play, and I was like, okay, cool, I could probably deal with this. So like I baited the Kaguya play, killing the rookie I had, and then I just kind of like climbed up and then did everything, clear the board, and then I think you were at 2 security. You're like, yeah, scoop, because I got nothing now, something like that.
Yeah, it was so bad.
So that's
like I only found 1 rookie that whole game, or not rookie, level 4 that whole game, and it was like, because the Kaguya I made, I think I hard dropped it after raising my rookie, because like this is my only play, and next turn you had already established a Millennium on, so it's already 2 checks there. I think you may have had a rookie in the back. It's like, I'm gonna make a board and he's probably gonna get rid of it, but I have to do something. So
yeah, I think I went to Moon. That's what it was as well, because I remember having the Moon, but no on play, because you had 5 cards in hand or something like that, and there was no Mirai for me to pop anyway. So it was just a matter of getting the Moon just to like establish a board presence. Yeah, and if something gets deleted, I trash, and then so on.
Yeah, that was so then that was the turn that you killed like 3 familiar tokens. I neg 9 on the Moon.
Yeah,
something stupid.
All right, pass turn, it don't matter.
Yeah,
yeah, it was funny. Yeah, so that ended up being that. In round 2, this player doesn't normally play anything else but one deck, but he's switched it up in the last 2 weeks, and he is now playing Styraco, and we're probably gonna see Styraco moving forward. So it is what it is. So I already know what that match entails. It entails me needing to see Chotose ASAP, and me needing to see the right pieces at the right time, depending on if they have Medusa or not. Surprisingly, like all games he had everything to climb up faster. He was on a lot of the raid Elizamon, which was kind of surprising because I feel like that's the one that you see at like the least of, in my opinion, in a more like regional setting. But it is what it is. So anyways, so he had game 1. I won game 1. So he did his shenanigans, but I had everything. And it didn't matter that he was bottom decking pieces, because I had enough where I was able to pop off and just win. Game 2, I had the worst search ever on certain things. I remember Analog Youth hit a double option, or it was an option and a tamer, and then a machine Dramon, and then prior I think I hit a I did an insane, and the only thing that was worth trashing was another machine and like something else, which means now I have 2 machine Dramons in trash that's just ready to get bot deck at any given moment if he has it, and he had it.
Of course,
and
he has it.
I really couldn't recover, because the search off the analog, if the search off the analog Utes hit well, then I could have dispersed those pieces maybe, and it would have been a lot easier to deal with. But because it was like, what other options am I gonna do besides bomb like a machine Digimon? If I trash maybe a Chimera as well off of it, or like double Chimera and I had double machine, I might be okay. He might reconsider bomb deck or something else, or something like that. I don't know. But I just couldn't even assembly, because that was a level 6 that got bomb deck, and I never saw any other 6s at that point, and it was just rough that game. Game 3, all I needed to see was promo Millennium on, I think it was, and I had everything and I never found one, and
That's
I
crazy.
ended up losing or something like that. It was something stupid like that, and I had like I was keeping him from killing me for a little bit with like things like the Deltamon and stuff, and I think I went hard Evo Chimera at some point, something like that. It was weird, but like I had all the setup as I could ever want, and then mad, but I did not see a Millennium on, and that's what legitimately caused was the reason why I lost the game. If you don't see promo Millennium on, you're just
It's the best card the whole day. Like,
yeah. It does everything for you.
Yep.
You know, so does your taxes, it does everything, you know.
Yep. 100%.
So if you don't see it, you just lose. And then round 3, I played against Red Purple Imperial. I ended up winning that one 2-0 or 2-1. I want to say it was 2-1.
If they pop off fast, that I'm sure that's very annoying for you.
It's hard because FM stops my plays. So I'm pretty sure he won game 1. I think that's what it was. So he went game 1, popped the F off a few times. I did have some pop offs too, but like FM could deal with Millennium on. And so if I'm just chilling with Millennium on, a promo Millie on board, and they go trash security, kill that, they're on Evo effect already stops me from being able to do things. So I think that's what ended up happening, because I think I won. I think I lost a 2-1. I feel like I did. I don't remember. And then because of that, I lost. Then game 2 and 3, I saw Gas, and he was slow at the gates, and I looped him. Game 2, maybe I didn't, because I feel like it was only 3 games. Maybe
It's
I
gotta
feel like
be
it was only
like
2 games, I should say.
That's like a really volatile matchup now that I think about it.
100%.
Because it's like if he pops off first,
second.
your deck is shut down. But if you pop off first, then you can like put all of his trash pieces back on top of his deck.
That was the greatest part. Hold on. I'll tell you right now if it was 2. Okay, it was 2-1. Yeah. So he did win the first one, because I remember one part. I'm missing a point on the game, because the game 3 was the crazy one. So game 2, he did some things where he couldn't reach a dragon mode. That's what it was. So I kept dealing
grabbed
with
it from the trash. That's how you win.
Yeah, right. So I dealt with his low 5s, and then pop off. I won. I think I like rookie rush early just because I had nothing going on besides that, and I just eventually got there. But game 3, he ended up, game 2. Oh, game 2, he opened triple analog use. That's what it was. And I was just like, I'm cooked. What the hell else do I do? Like, I opened pretty good, but like triple analog use in that deck is like, god damn. And so I still ended up winning. So game 3, I kept a weird hand, because it was all like option tamers. So I was like, fuck it. We're gonna see. And it had like 2 or 3 pieces that I could trash off of them. And I am doing that. And he's trashing, he's like missed members, he's rookie, dropping rookies, was a draw 1, trash 1, draw 2 with the Vmon, the Wormmon trash. So he had a couple things trashed already. He has a whole line trashed. And so I'm going through looping. I start looping him. I get to a Zed. I bomb deck something to top deck him. Reverse, I should say. Top deck something from the trash, bomb decked him. And I noticed he had like very specific 5s. So I was like, I'm gonna keep top decking all his 5s at one point. So then Millennium comes out after the Z, and I top deck his 3, 4, 5 and a 6. Keep turn, swing, boom, boom, or I put him to 1. And I kept putting away his champions as well. It was the champions, not his 5s, because he had another 5 in there. And I was like, I just win, right? Like in my head, I'm just like, next turn I just win, because I do the same thing over, and I go, because I do 1 check or whatever with Zed, the first one. The next turn I do full loop where I go 2 checks with Millie, I Zed overclock, kill the Millie, bottom deck Chimera Machine, play promo effect, delete yourself, bomb deck 3. I go, and I kept going. I top deck his whole trash at that point, and then swing 2 checks, overclock happened again, and then I just went for game. And he was sick about that one. He was definitely tight about it, because I just didn't let him play the game on that one. Unfortunate, it is what it is type of thing. Like I can understand why he was tight, because he just sat there for like 10 minutes while I was doing the whole combo. But
Playing Millennium on solitaire over there.
But the thing is, RP Imperial is the same thing. You have a 20-minute turn too as well when you do your crazy pop-offs. So it's not like we both didn't do it. You had yours game 1 and you just didn't do it game 2 and 3, or tried to game 2, didn't do it fully. And then game 3, I had it. I had it early and then he didn't. So that's ended up what happened. So I won 2-1. I ended up getting 3rd place because the person I lost to the other guy in the finals. So if he would have won, you blame me, but like if he would have won, I would have been 2nd, you would have been 3rd, you know?
What's real quick shout out to Bandai for making such an awesome product with AD01, because if it weren't for AD01, he was not playing Red Purple Imperial. Like that's how he got his Shadramons, that's how he got his Analog Youths. Like he's at this point he's not really a new player, but he is a newer player. So like getting his hands on like EX1 cards or like promo Shadra, like he doesn't play in regionals, so he's not going to get regional packs, participant packs to get the Shadramons and stuff, or like even the proto forms and stuff.
Especially at that point, they were still like $20-$30, and he just, you know.
Right. If you're a more casual player, like why are you going to spend money on a deck that you're just casually interested in, right? So super cool that he was able to build that deck out of thanks to AD01. So that's really cool. And I also want to do another quick shout out before we move on to our next topic. Have you guys heard about Digilab.cards?
Yeah.
Digilab.cards is awesome. You can check out your local meta. If no one has set it up yet, you can join their Discord and get your local meta going. But it's a really cool site where you can just see your local meta. There's like a leaderboard for like your area. Like we're in the northeastern Pennsylvania, so there's like 3-4 shops that are currently set up, and you can shops. You can gain points and climb a leaderboard. You can see what decks everybody's playing in your region. So like right now, I think Medusamon is really popular in our region, but
sure is.
It's just really cool. Like if you're like a data person, you owe it to yourself
really cool
to check out Digilab.cards. Go check it out.
Even if it's not in your area, like you can look worldwide. You can look at different areas. You can see what's being played in Mexico, the United States, Canada, Europe, wherever that people have done their sign up for Digilabs. It's really awesome to see.
For sure. And we're not endorsed or sponsored or, you know, told to shout this out or anything. We just think it's really cool. Dan and I have both set up our 2 local shops with Digilab so that we can, you know, just get the word out there, spread it around. Check it out if
I'm consistently top 3.
Hey, me too.
I got 4. I don't have a win on there yet. I don't have a win on there yet, but unfortunately we started it after I won a couple, but saying no, you had the 1 puppet win, but it's just funny. I didn't even
there's
think
always
it was
tomorrow.
Like,
there's Mana and Mocha tomorrow.
Yeah, if we decide to go. I didn't even think it was like even a thing to do, like, because I heard about it like for a little bit, like at least a month or 2, like when it first dropped. I was like, oh, this is cool, but like getting into it and like seeing the actual the data and stuff, I think it's like fantastic. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't set it up for your locals. Honestly, you can see a lot of cool things, tracking what's getting played, what's not getting played, like you mentioned before. Especially with the newest updates, like you got pie charts on there, you got different like data points you could look at. It's super cool to look at. It's a lot of fun to read, to see what people are playing, to see how decks are performing and stuff in a local setting. I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like honestly, you know what, fellas, we're gonna
share your screen. I have a feeling you got it up.
Yep, I just pulled it up. I'm gonna share this and show you guys. So here we go. This is Digilab. I haven't used it on my desktop, so bear with me here. But here you can see. Can you see my screen? Okay, Dan?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. So here you can see what decks are popular, winning globally. So as you can see, Medusamon is the best deck in the game. So what a surprise! It's #1 here. But you can see Vortex very popular. Hoodie's still popping off. Puppets, Royal Knights, Jupiter. Here's recent tournaments that have occurred, and you can. We'll just click one of these. Let's go to the Buddy Connection. They had 21 Tamers. Wow, nice. The store championship.
That's awesome.
So check it out. This is their meta breakdown. They had 3 Imperial Digimon players, 2 Jupiter, 2 Medusa, 2 Jessamon, 2 Vortex, and so on. You can see you got a little pie chart of the people who are piloting. Like, there's so much really cool information. Congrats to Mandoodle for his 5-0 win with Jupitermon. But like, and look, you can see he gives himself a rating change. So if you were to go to his scene, Malaysia. So was a Malaysia tournament. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Like you could just see all over the world.
You could
like
you could go to ours right now. Like if you go into our scene, you click the settings or whatever scene.
NEPA. So Northeast Pennsylvania. Here we are, Gamer's Edge.
We had our recent that we see I have Imperial at 1, which is pretty cool. You see all the breakdowns and stuff. You see where I placed, which is 3rd. Puppets at 4th, which was digi-know. And like even if you scroll down, even cool thing is like we don't do it, but you can do you can set up each match and you can have like a rivals thing going on there and stuff. Like
that's cool. I didn't know that.
In-depth stuff that you can add that like we don't do it. It's just the basics, but it's pretty interesting if you
hey,
check it out.
Look who won this tournament. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. I got second on that one with Shine. But yeah, so you can see in our scene, these are like the top players that's performing. I think it's only because they have more. No offense over here on Wilkes-Barre, but y'all started way earlier than us, you know. But yeah, you could tell like a lot of things that's going on. You could probably tell who's considered like the more better players, the average players, and stuff like that. I think it's just fantastic thing you can use, tool to use for your own locals.
So yeah, I thought that was cool. I just wanted to shout that out real quick because it is just a really cool tool, really cool scene. If you have your own scene, you're doing yourself a disservice by not setting that up for all your players. And it's really quick. It's really easy. All you have to do is after you get your scene. So the scene may already exist where you are. For example, Northeastern Pennsylvania already exists as a scene for us. All we had to do was add our shops. So you just go on the Discord, You say, hey, I'm from this store. Our locals is this day at this time. They'll get you in there. And then when you submit results, all you have to do is take a screenshot of the Bandai TCG Plus and then fill in a little bit of information, like what decks everybody played. And it really takes maybe 5-10 minutes of your time at most to just put that information in real quick. And boom, you got yourself a whole little meta snapshot for your own little scene or big scene. Very cool. Really, really cool. So that's again, digilab.cards. Like I said, we're not sponsored or no one told us to say this. We just think it's really cool. And I think if you've never heard of it, you may think it's very cool too. Chat?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Before we go into anything, I just want to talk about this quick reveal that this card is fantastic. It's called Cyber Engage. Yes. Is an Appmon card. So for 3 cost, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Appmon trade card among them to the hand, trash the rest. Then place this card in the battle area. Main delay, you may play 1 Appmon trade card from your hand with the cost reduced by 3. That is a fantastic card for Appmon in my opinion.
Ooh. Get your tamer down for 1?
Yeah. Or free. Because there's a lot of 3 cost tamers out there now, right? Or, your searchers, your other 3, you can do a lot of things. I think it's a fantastic card for any Appmon deck to play.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like Appmon memory boost in a way.
In a sense, yep.
Very cool.
I just want to talk about that real quick since that popped up. We've had a lot of cool reviews over days. We get new decks like Ping Pong Galaxy, I guess we should call it TX Galaxy Ping Pong, whatever you want to call it. That seems like an interesting potential Omni style deck where you ping pong off the Evos and then you go up the chain to probably Galaxymon or not Galaxymon, whatever his name is. I always forget his name. Grace Novamon. There you go.
There you go.
Oh my god, I don't know why he's the one Digimon I always forget his name.
He's so
on
cool
a
though.
Basis. He is very cool. I think he was a lot cooler to me once I played TS. But yeah, today's main topics is gonna be all over the place. I guess it's just about upcoming regionals for us. the meta in general, maybe like an unofficial tier list in a sense where we think are the top decks going into this regional and what we think might win, yada yada yada, and so on. I think our meta right now is a wild wild west.
For sure.
I say that because AD01 dropped, gave us, let's say, 5 decks, right? That were kind of like not kind of irrelevant, but they just became instantly relevant because those cards were so powerful. Example, obviously, Red Hybrid in 2 events has 2 tops. Imperial Digimon came back 2 tournaments, 2 tops with one of them winning.
I called it. I'm just saying I called it.
Yeah. I'm pleasantly surprised. Actually, not pleasantly surprised. I'm surprised because my whole thing was with that deck was like, you still have the same issues. You don't fix the consistency of finding your 4s, and that was always the biggest issue. But man, who cares if you find out your 1 XV, your 1 Stigma, and you get to that FM? That new FM is so crazy strong. It does not matter. As long as you see your 1 stack once, you're legit. You could probably just win off of that. And it's just crazy strong. That card is a floodgate. It just does a lot of things. And the cool thing, I find this cool about it, is that in 2 events, 2 different styles of Imperial Digimon's top. One was more of a control-esque, floodgate-esque type, where they were running 4 primogenitors. They had the BT16 Dragon Mode, the one that's kind of like kind of floodgate-esque, whereas
yeah,
when
if your opponent evos or something.
Yep, you can evo. So then you go from that to the FM, and that's another floodgate style effect. Versus the one that won
in the card game. More floodgate effects, please.
No, and then, but I think that's a fine floodgate in my opinion. I think that's a fine floodgate to have. That's something that you can deal with something like that.
I agree.
Unlike Curse of Blaze. But anyways, that's a topic for a different day because I've talked about it previously. But then you have the one that won, where it was more aggro. It was sort of the starter deck Dragon Mode, where you go Dragon Mode, you spit out your 2 bodies, you DNA again, you swing, you just keep popping off, and then you probably go double FM or something, or at least 1 FM, depending on your memory gauge situation. Interesting as hell. And then that's 3 decks we talked about, right? That's Imperial, Red Hybrid, and those are the 2 I mentioned at the moment. So then we have in second place Ping Pong Alter S, which I did not expect that to be legit, but man, legit enough to pop off. I thought it was crazy. I thought I was like low key on the secret sauce about it. I didn't think people were really like trying
Everybody
it.
knew about it.
But I didn't think people were like legitimately trying the decks for a regional setting, because I was like, the ones I've already seen, I was like, yo, this is crazy strong how this pop off. And that version wasn't even the version that I was building. That was just a black based version, like old school Ping Pong Ultra S, but with newer stuff. So fantastic. Those are 3 decks that the one that people thought was the best out of them hasn't even topped yet, which is Shine Greymon. People think that the Shine Greymon stuff is the most broken thing ever. I think it's still Shine Greymon at the end of the day, where it's fragile, but like that's still pretty strong, honestly. And then the cross stuff is really good. It just hasn't had enough showing. I think
it hasn't had any major tops, but it is cooking across Japan. Like it's taking local after local after local. It just hasn't popped up in a major event just yet.
Yep. And then we just see like cards like Omnimon being splashed in different decks. All right, we know the Jesmon deck that popped, that top had the Omnimon, and little things here and there. We know we've seen the Royal Knights, the Adventure Royal Knights deck with that Omni, kind of crazy. A lot of different things that came out AD01, I feel like has helped those decks to become relevant. And on top of, we have all the Liberated decks, we have all the TS decks, we have Millennium on, whatever you want to call that. We have all these decks that is very strong right now. And it's an interesting meta right now. What do you think, Gino?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Oceania, the second place, I think, was Alter S Ping Pong. So like the deck
that's what it was. Yep,
the deck is popping off. These AD01 decks are crazy, man. Red Hybrid is mean now. They're running that
Yeah.
old BT7 Strawby that gives them a memory back so that they get end of turn multiple sec plus ones. They printed Rush on Alderman for some reason. Like the triple tamer is +2 memory if you dare to hit it out of security. And then they're just combining it with floodgate effects for that one list that we saw. I still think Emperor Greymon is very strong as well as a card. So we'll see how that deck ends up shaking up. Imperial Dramon Fighter mode is, as we said, insane. I made the joke before that if enough people play Imperial, someone will top with it, but no surprise there. One of the most popular decks in Digimon, one of the most popular Digimon, period, Vmon, right? So like people are all over it and making it work. I'm trying to remember what I saw, but I know that get ready for that fighter mode to find its way into other blue and green decks. Like,
I think so, yeah, because there's no restriction on that card.
right. Vortex is on the up and up. It's got 2 back-to-back regional tops now. Potential Man is showing his potential finally, perhaps.
Yeah,
his hidden potential has been discovered, maybe even. But it's pretty cool, man. The new AD01 stuff is really good. I still think the best deck in the game is Medusa because of just progress plus bottom decking stuff before it can trigger on deletions and having a really fast pop off and OTK. Like, I think Millennium is secretly one of the best decks in the game. I don't think it's very popular, but I think the people who do play it are very, very good at the deck and will take it far. Like the current meta is like you said, it's a wild west because there's so much stuff. You have no idea what you're gonna run into. Like any flavor of Liberator deck, like 90% of the Liberator deck. All right, 90 is a little excessive. Let's say 50 to 60% of the Liberator decks are like pretty competitive. Last night I was cooking Dan with Invisimon deck. Okay, Master Blimpmon, my goat.
No lie, he was legitimately cooking. I mean, I wasn't playing like a crazy deck, but the times he popped off, I was like, I can't do anything about this because this lovely Invisimon decides to hide in security, and I can't hit the 5 security at that point. It's just that deck is a lot better than I think people give credit to, and we gave credit to, obviously. It's just a good deck. Ice Snow's still trash though. For anyone who are complaining about Ice Snow in that tier list, deck is ass.
Rip.
Fish though, Fish is legit, which is good. I love to see that Fish is a good deck.
You should take that to the online regionals. You should play Fishies.
Ooh, maybe.
That'd be cool. I know you love your Fishies.
I mean, and the thing is, like, I say this, and it's not like I'm not cooking Fish right now. I've been playing a lot of it. It's just so funny. Sometimes I have like weird fear with that deck sometimes. But like anytime I play it, it always pop off like a lot. Nah, not always. I can't say that always. But like when you do pop off though, and I got Neptune in that deck, you know, I don't know.
Listen,
I'll think about it since you put that in my mind.
There is a less than 2 times that Dan has OTK'd me from 5 with that deck. So like it's got the nuts. It can do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible.
But yeah, it's crazy. Who knows what you're gonna sit down across from?
Like, that's the crazy part. Yeah, for sure. That is definitely the crazy part. So you kind of like have to prepare yourself for everything, but also got to pay attention to like the top. You know what's gonna be the top tier decks, right? But Mallow, my other one, could pop off and just win. You know, like I'm just looking at BT3 Mallow right now because I had to take it out of my deck. Like you can just pop off with that deck and just watch someone go Mallow loop and win because they saw the one of BT3 Mallow and that ends up causing them to win. Like there's just so much in this game right now that's crazy strong. Unfortunately, there's some other decks that we love that just aren't that strong, like Black or Greymon. You're just not gonna see that really, but who knows? You might see a random War Gray OTK because that new War Gray is kind of cracked even on its own. That's not a, if you're not playing an Omni deck, that card says, swing unsuspend basically, or you can swing if you're able to unsuspend, then you get an end of turn swing again or something like that. Or you just do 5 checks, X anybody, go into Omni Access game basically, because ain't nothing security today's game that does that can deal with it.
Yeah, just boom, boom, boom. Here's 5 checks, and also I have probably multiple layers of protection, and I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Yep, it's pretty strong. It's cool, definitely. And like, I didn't even mention Machine Digimon. If someone wants to play Machine Digimon, they can still do well with it. Like, because Machine Digimon is still a deck, is one of those decks that's just never gone bad. It's just kind of like fell off because people like new card syndrome. And it's just crazy, right? Like to think about. Right. Because if you run into like an Ex Machina, you can deal with Ex Machina with that deck, right? Like you just go, all right, we'll just run around you instead, stuff like that. I don't know. I think the game, as much as people complain about the game has become a state of play where it's, if everything is broken, nothing is broken. That's kind of how it feels. And if that's the case, I'm okay with it. I'm A-okay with it, because if all my decks can feel busted when I pop off, fuck it, right? If you're doing it, I'm doing it. F it, we ball and we call it a day. Even there was some data list. I wish I could share it because I can't right now, that someone sent to me that was showing like the top tier decks. Let me tell you what's considered like the second tier decks that's popping off. Galacticmon was one of them. Yeah, I think this is off of Digilab. I kind of like tier 3-ish. No, it is the tier 2 section. Galactimon's popping off, right? Like, these are the top decks that are being played right now, according to whatever this thing is. I'm pretty sure this is Digilab off of somewhere, but the top decks are Shine, Sirocco, Vortex, Puppets, Millennium, and Imperial. That's what's being played. That's what I guess that's the highest win records or whatever, according to this chart that I'm looking at. The second tier, Alter S combo. I don't know if that's like specific versions or anything, but it's just Alter S, Ping Pong, Galactic, Magnetic, Jupiter, Royal Knights, Cross, TS, Red Hybrid. Like, that's how many decks right there? That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 decks right there. The third tier, Adventure, Gamamon, Omnimon, Purple Hybrid. I can't. Bees. Like, that third tier, those are some strong decks. Like, Purple Hybrid is not a bad deck, you know what I'm saying? And then the bottom tier has a bunch of random one-offs, decks that I'm not even gonna mention, but I'll talk about some of them. We didn't even mention this deck earlier, the Magna Guru hybrid. That was kind of solid. Like, from when I was watching you pop off with it, like, I was like, damn, this is doing way more than I thought it was. Beowulf is kind of cracked feeling as a card. Like, they're both cracked in their own ways, right? Like, no matter what, draw 2 on a card is always good.
It's play a tamer and draw 2.
Exactly.
And if you remove me, I do it again. Actually, it's really a draw 3, because you're going to drop the triple tamer and get another draw. So, like,
that's crazy when you think about it like that. Draw 3 right there with no is not really a bad idea when it happens, right? Some other decks I'll mention that's in this bottom tier: Gurumon, Gaiamon, all 4 somehow. It's kind of like whatever. Leviamon is a dead deck, so we ain't even gonna talk about it. Galaxy is still a deck that can pop off if you have it, right? Magnemon is a fallen hero nowadays for some people. Like I mentioned before, Imperialmon, red purple Imperial, good deck. Or you can Machine Digimon.
My spider sense is tingling. I can see it now. Galaxy with Imperialmon fighter mode as its top end.
Yeah, you can definitely do that, right? Because it's blue, so you just go over to Crescentmon, call it a day, right? Megidramon, that's another deck we didn't mention before that kind of got pseudo support with that Galamon. That it's kind of janky, but it kind of works. Trinity Burst Digimon OTK combo. You go into your War Growl, you play the Trinity Burst, you go into the Digimon, you swing 4 checks with alliances plus the second attack plus 1 on it. You kill yourself, you go unleashing War Growl, trash top security. You have the Takata out, you play the Guilmon back off the Digimon, and then you warp into Gallon and swing for game, right? Like that's a legit combo that people are talking about and people are hyping up. What other decks have we seen? Turtle Ganku. This might be just Jesmon, I don't know.
Probably.
Galamon, good deck. Heavy Metal is kind of a good deck. Ex Machinamon is a good deck. Biozamon, a good deck. Massimon hasn't fallen off, but like we have all these other decks that's still strong. Massimon's a strong ass deck. 7 Great Demon Lords. Ghosts somehow. We're not even gonna talk about that because Ghost is trash. Hudimon. Hudimon is a good deck. Still. What happened?
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Beowulf hybrid with Mastamon top end.
Okay.
You're gonna have multiple levels in your stack because you tuck whatever you want.
Oh, true. Yeah, yeah.
I'm cooking.
That might be something. That might be something. Might be something. What else is on here? 7 Great Demon Lords, Lucamon that we mentioned before, Maruki OTK, and the last one is, oh, I think it's Dark Masters. That's funny. So like all these decks we talked about, it's just these are all a lot of them outside of Caveat. Like I don't know who won with All Force, but I mean kudos to you for being able to win with All Force and Saiyans World.
Nice job.
Same with Ghost. Like kudos to you for being able to do that. All these decks are super strong in today's game. It feels like they all had gotten out of support within the last like 4 or 5 sets or something like that, and they're just good decks, right? Like you just never know what you're gonna see, and I think that's kind of good for the game, right? That's how many decks I named right there. That's at least 20 decks right there. That's probably 25. Let me count real quick. That's 6, 8. That's 14. That's 19. Yeah, that's like close to 30 decks right there that I just named, and that in this one page I was talking about people playing and whatnot. Fantastic, honestly. Like you were just mentioning before, there was a Lucamon player in the attack regional, right? People think it could be potentially a good deck. We know a couple people who actually won in Hudi format in a store regional against like 3 Hudi players with Lucamon. Shout out to Panzer. That guy was cooking with Lucamon.
Great matchup.
And they just got new support. So it's like all these things that comes together, and I think this is what Digimon wanted, right? That's what people biggest complaints is that you only can win with 3 decks. Why only win with 3 decks when you can win with 15 decks?
Exactly.
That's how it feels like.
Yeah, whenever you have like a really wide meta, like whenever we say you never know what deck you're gonna sit down across from is a healthy meta. Like sure, the game is very fast and a little bit sacky from time to time, but like every deck is doing it. Styraco is OTKing you, Magnetic is OTKing you, Puppets is OTKing you, new Royal Knights is OTKing you, Olympus 12 is making an unbreakable board for a turn and then OTKing you. Like yeah, because security is so dangerous, OTK decks are just even stronger. You don't really want to chip. You want to win on the turn that you win because you don't want to give all your opponent all the resources, right? But like if you have even 5 really good decks is healthy, and we've got probably what out of the ones you mentioned 10 to 15. Like
yeah, for sure, easy 10 to 15. And
so
all the ones I just realized, all the ones I just named on here, 2 decks that come to mind because they're similar archetype that wasn't on this list that I know has topped because one topped in EU regional, which is Fish. Fish wasn't on this list, which topped regional. That means it's a good deck. Like you ain't topping regional, you know, when it is else. And then TS Abyss Zone, right? Like that version of TS is a very good deck still. Yep. So like those are two decks that wasn't even on this list, and I will put it higher than wherever this B list is for the most part. For like half of this B list, I will put up like on it, right? Like in that tier of wherever those decks were, in my opinion, because those decks are super strong in comparison to those other ones, and it's more consistent in my opinion. It's just good. I think that's it's good for the game, right? It's good for the game. Which leads us to the regional we're going to. Gino and I mentioned earlier. I have two. I'm considering Shine Greymon and Millennium really, and now Fish because Gino threw in the idea of Fish because I think it's a good deck. Like Neptunemon, Ryugu, fantastic cards. Ariamon, such a good closer in my opinion.
You play well. You know the lines.
Yep. And so I think so. Let me talk about the first one first. Millennium mentioned before. I think why Millennium is a good pick for me is it has a very fantastic matchup into any of the decks in the meta except for one. And that's for me personally, I think it's 50-50 against Styraco. I know a lot of people think it's like you just lose the moment they flip Digimon over. But I've definitely learned how to play around what Styraco does. And hey, it's a red deck. Red deck's brick. So you just never know sometimes when it comes to that. And that's a thing for you. Like obviously you shouldn't play with the idea of let's hope for a brick. But it's a thing that can happen in this card game, right? Especially against red. Know your lines. Chitose is probably your MVP in that matchup. It's not like they could do anything with your tamers. So getting that Chitose out as soon as possible. If you're turn 0, even the back, play Chitose, put him to 3 is probably your best start, just because that helps you avoid losing your cards that you don't want to get bomb decked. So you kind of can facilitate. You can manage your trash. You can set it up before they can deal with your trash. So that's something that I've learned to play against when it comes to that deck. And sometimes, Styraco just has the nuts. Ain't nothing, no one could do about it. Ain't no deck that could do anything when a deck like that has the nuts. So that's really why I'm playing it. And then everything else, right? TS, I think is a pretty good matchup into TS. You have outs to a lot of their big guys. It can out a Neptunemon. I can out a Minerva, Venus. You can deal with a lot of things in that deck. Jupiter is, I think in my opinion, very easy to kill. And because they natively have to kill your Millennium. You just drop a Millennium and you just hope they just do what? Jupitermon, call it a day. And so, I think Gino died. Oh no, he's alive. Okay.
I'm alive. I'm here.
Okay, you like lagged a little too.
I lagged a little earlier
so,
too.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but whatever.
You did, yeah. But anyways, in the top of decks, Puppets, I think has an okay matchup into Puppets. I mean, if they OTK you, they just OTK you. It's just one of those things. The hardest thing for me, I think, is the mirror. If they're on like the Uko gas version, I think it's a lot harder for me to deal with versus some of the other decks in the game, honestly. But besides that, if I see my pieces, I think I could do fantastic against any of the decks in the meta with no problem, including Vortex. That's another big hard thing to deal with. But Shoutmon DX is a card that I run in my version at least, so that's my out to it. And as long as I see it, I think it's not a problem. What about you, Gina? What is your thought process in going to this region when it comes to the deck you're playing?
So my thought process kind of has always been the same when it comes to pick events. I'm going to pick the deck that is going to punch you the hardest, the fastest. Okay, that's why I took Marukimon to Nationals, because we did all the testing, and hey, if I pop off, I'm killing you really, really fast out of nowhere. And that's kind of what Puppets does. Puppets is going to kill you really fast out of nowhere. It has the added benefit of if things don't line up in your OTK way, you can fall back on Kaguya. You have good answers to... The thing is, there are so many flexible puppet trait cards that you can kind of drop one or two various puppets into your list and it answers a matchup for you. You can drop a Sistermon CL to D-Digivolve. You can drop CL Awakened to get a stun on something. You can drop Namekke to prevent yourself from being de-digivolved. Like, there's a lot of different things that you can do. You know, you got Nyaboot to deal with Vortex because you DP neg till the end of turn, or anything that's immune for a turn, right? Like, for me, I always pick the deck that punches hard and fast, and then I don't see my pieces and I lose. But if I just see my pieces, I'll be fine. Like, I really like Jessamon, and I love playing Jessamon, but it does feel like it's just a step behind the rest of the decks now. Like, let me put it this way. I feel like me playing Puppets versus me playing Jessamon, I'll have to play harder playing Jessamon to win than playing Puppets. Like, I'll have to outplay my opponent. I'll have to do all the crazy stuff. I'll have to, like, whereas with Puppets, if I see my line and emblem, I probably just win. Like, Jessamon is a deck that, while still very strong, is still just doing 3 checks, and hopefully those 3 checks aren't resources. Like, well, like I said earlier, the state of the game now really is chip 1, hope it wasn't a resource, and then go for the 4 check OTK. Every deck is doing it now, basically. So that's kind of my thought process. Is I like to pick something that's very strong, very fast, and like, I have answers to the meta. I have ways around Minervamon thanks to my tech choices. I have ways around Millenniumon due to my tech choices. It's just a matter of, can I find them? The deck digs like crazy. It draws like crazy. It could arguably be considered one of the best decks in the game. It has protections. It has big old DP neg, which has always been one of the best forms of removal. That's where I am. I really want to play Vortex, but I don't think I put enough reps in for it. The week is young, so that, you know, who knows. But Vortex is another deck that has just been like really bricky for me. Like, I don't know. I just get unfortunate draws, and the only way you draw cards in that deck is off the egg or via search. I don't know. We'll see. My idea is I'm going to pick the deck that punches you in the face really hard and really fast. And because realistically, if you get the setup with Puppets, it doesn't matter what deck you're against, because you got there before them and you just OTK them. That's my Puppet mindset. Also, I've been a Mirai fan, ride or die, since day 0 of Liberator, okay? Mirai was always my favorite, and no one can tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I'm awful when it comes to choosing decks for regional, in the sense of, do I take what's the best deck in the format, or do I take what I want to play sometimes? And I don't think I've ever done well with what's considered the best deck in the format, and I've played what's considered the best deck in the format a few times. And so
Purple Hybrid was considered one of the best decks, and I feel like you were cooking with it.
I don't think my version at that point was considered the best.
Well, not when you were playing Dark Master version, yeah.
Yeah, right. And so, and at that point, even at that point, Purple Hybrid, because it was a little early in Purple Hybrid's lifespan, so like there was like 1 or 2 tops, but then it didn't pop off until like after I did mine. Not saying because it was me, but because people would kind of like optimize the fuck out of that deck, and it was like,
they started to solve it.
This is the version you run now, and now that's your 50, and that was it. And that's when you saw like the crazy amount of tops and all that stuff. Like you saw some tops when I did that, the Dark Master version, and tops, what was it, 7th place, whatever it was. But like it was definitely a different version that was the only version you saw top. The Dark Masters Purple Hybrid version. It's the only version you saw in at least NA top, which is pretty cool. I can say that. But like if you look at like my past, when I played Shine, when it was considered the best deck in the format, I got like 17th, and that was like my best deck in the format play. Because when I played Black Hole Greymon, which I played Black Hole Greymon because Black Hole Greymon X when it was at its prime, because that was one of my favorite decks to play. But even then, like when I went to Nats for that, I went 6-4, something like that, I think it was. Because I played the whole event. I think it was like 10 rounds, because that was the one when we had like 900 players or something like that. for that
Jesus.
event. Yeah, the first and second in-person NAS were like 1,000 people or something like that, or close
That's
to it.
wild.
So it was a bigger event than we've had previously, because they didn't cap it. It was when it was they just let whoever walk into NAS and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I remember doing that, and it was like, again, 164 or something like that with it. And then my other decks that I topped with were always kind of like rogue choices. Like D Reaper was 100% a rogue choice. Like there was no questions about it. Machine Dramon was definitely a strong deck, but no one considered it like a top tier 1 deck. Let's play it that. And like whatever my other tops I forget are at the moment, just never were like considered that. So I usually pick decks that are like good against the meta in general. So like Millennium, yes, it's probably a tier 1 deck, but no one makes it sound like it's a tier 1 deck, if that makes sense, right? Like people don't talk about it like it should be talked about, in my opinion. Because we saw like even like Juan Zero's tier list when he put in tier 2 because it loses to Cyrac. I'm just like, does it really, or is it the player? You know? Yeah. At that point, Millennium won a regional, and it's not tier 1. All right, sure, if you say so.
Right.
But I don't know. So I've always been like that. So that's why I like right now I'm between for the online for in person, definitely playing Millie. I'm up in grabs with the online one because I just don't know if I want to like go back to back Millie. And Millie is you have your plays like, you know, that you want to play, but like this thought process that you have to do, and sometimes it's just a lot. And so sometimes, you know, you'll burn out from that. Oh, Mallow, when I was playing a lot of Mallow, like no one considered that as a top tier deck. You know, it's top tier strength. And I was doing well with that one, right? Yeah, so like that's what I was thinking, like for the online one, at least Shine is like new Shine is very linear. Like obviously it's very powerful, right? You can OTK people now a lot easier than you could previously, or you're able to OTK someone at 5 now. Let's play like that, right? If you draw the pieces and you draw the nuts, you can OTK people at 5 you want. If you the goal is put them at 4 and then OTK like normal Shine, because that's always been Shine's
like
thing.
every other deck.
Yeah, and especially in today's game, right? That was Shine's thing back in BT13. That was Shine's thing, but now that's like everybody's thing. So there's not really anything new. So, you know, that could be a possibility. And since now he mentioned Fish is another deck where you can OTK someone at 4, you can OTK someone at 5, because I've definitely done the OTK at 5 with Fish. Very possible. Very, not saying it's easy, but you need to know how to play the combos out correctly, because that's a very combo oriented deck that you gotta put time into it to like know what the plays are for that. So I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I'm on the fence with it. I'm not even on the fence with making my Millennium deck a little bit more greedier than it is currently, with running like, let's say 2 Zeds or something like that, and like 4 emerges. So because Zed is like, if you get Zed out early, you can OTK whenever you want, basically. That's how it feels like, in my opinion. Like if they don't have the raid to deal with it or something like that, like it's just, you get that out early, you put them to whatever number, you go, can you deal with this board of a Zed and a Millennium on? No, I win next turn. That's how it feels every time I get it out early. And obviously it's a closer, it's also a combo extender. Like there's so much a Z does for you. But Moon also does a lot for you too, and that's why I'm thinking of like going greedy and going like 2-2 instead of like 2-1 or something like that. Run more merges because of that, but then that cuts down the champion lineup at least, and so then those ratios get a little wonkier.
People are running 3 champions. You're fine.
Yeah, who cares? Who needs champions, right? So that's like the thought process, at least, so I can get it out, see it early, and we'll see if it works out. I've been doing some extra testing. I was testing that earlier. But you know, we'll see how it goes when the time comes, because we all know how all TCG players are. Like the day before, we're like frantic about our deck list. We're like, I don't know, we want to do this. Yes, no, maybe so. And then you know, you do, and then whatever happens. But yeah, I think it's just yeah, I don't remember where I was going with that. Anyways, but best decks in the format. What we think the best decks in the game is right now, or at least the top tier decks, tier ones. Let's say tier ones.
I think it's unarguable that Styraco is the best deck in the game, or Medusa, whatever you want to call it. It won Worlds, so like, what else? what bigger thing do you have than that? But I think Styraco, I think TS, especially the Olympus Megazoo version,
which is so crazy because I feel like that's the worst version. Like no
I
matter anytime
so
I see
too,
it,
but like
anytime I see it, I'm just like, man, this is just so not ass, but I'm just like, man, how do you just? I guess it works.
You got enough of those guys out. You got enough protections. You get Homeros out and just keep popping off the crazy effects and just stalling your opponent out of the game. And before you know it, you've got 6 bodies on board and you just swing out. Or
yep.
You know, maybe not even 6 because of Alliance and stuff. So TS, Styraco, I think Millennium is one of the best decks in the game. Puppetmon is up there. Puppets, not Puppetmon. I wish Puppetmon was the best deck in the game.
Same, that'd be crazy.
Puppets.
Hey, throw a BT1 or BT2 Puppetmon into your puppets list. You know, it's a puppet.
He is a puppet. If he could black box over puppets, I might put an ace in and never see it coming.
No.
I don't know, what am I missing? Does that sound like pretty much the best decks? Maybe
Imperial considered back as a tier 1 deck?
As of right now, it is.
Question mark?
It's been what, 2-3 major events, and it's topped all of them so far. Red Hybrid,
it's been 2 major events, and now it's 2 tops with 1 win.
I mean, 100% conversion rate at this point, right? So
yeah, something like that. I think you hit on the head with those. I think Magnetic is still like a top tier deck.
Definitely a deck to be feared.
Even though it hasn't done much recently, it feels like, but it's still something you need to worry about. It's something that's, again, as a Liberator deck, it OTKs you from 4 easier than probably the others, and so that's still a thing. Vortex is finally shown it's not a fake deck. It's shown it's not a fraud.
I told you.
Finally not a fraudler, but I think those are definitely the top tier decks for sure that I'm trying to think of. You mentioned TS, Styraco, obviously Puppets now. Millennium feels like it's definitely up there, and then Rocks definitely feel like those are like the top 5 decks right now, in my opinion, in the game. I feel like I'm missing something else, but I can't think of it. I think out of the other decks, like mentioned before, Red Hybrid now I think is tier 1.5, is back in like the tier 1.5 category. I think Shine is 2. Imperial. I didn't mention Imperial before. I don't think Imperial is definitely up there with it being probably tier 1. My only question is, did it run into any Millennium players? Because I feel like Millennium would cook the F out of that matchup, but hey, I don't know what his matches were, but like,
did you go crazy?
Exactly my point, right? Like, even if you're on FM, like you go FM DM to Pyojimon, will pop the Pyojo partition. Great, more bodies for me to kill within full combo, you know. But hey, they still did it. They still did it. Yeah, all these decks. That's definitely top tier decks. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm missing something. I just don't remember the name right now of it. Maybe let me look at this list again to see if I'm missing anything for those decks that we were talking about for that's top tier 1-ish.
I'm waiting to see Royal Knights pop back up in the limelight.
I don't think Shine is a tier 1 deck. I think it is more.
I think it's good
under like the tier 1.5-ish and like tier 2-ish, probably more tier 2-ish, until it shows they can win in a regional and top. I just don't think it's there yet. What deck you mentioned before?
Just now?
Royal Knights.
I'm waiting for Royal Knights to come back.
I hope not.
No, I hope not too.
I don't want to come back.
I don't want to play Royal Knights. I don't want to play against Imperial, you know, but here we are.
Yeah. This weekend's gonna be exciting for us for sure. I hope that our return pod, because I'll be honest, I don't know when this is going out. It might be what's today's date? The 13th of April. This might go out the 24th. I don't know. It could be the first.
If we're
honestly.
lucky.
I don't know. So we'll see when that comes around. Hopefully the return pod when we do it, maybe we'll do on April 20th. I doubt it because that's our return home day. So maybe we'll do one the following day or something, and then we'll have that recorded. And hopefully those are all good recordings where we're talking about all regionals and all pluses. Hopefully we both top, including our friends that's going as well.
Yep.
Hopefully either one of us wins or tops at least top 16. That's the goal, at least minimum top 16, which is the worst possible case is X2. Let's hope we don't have to go down that route where we're X2, and hope to the gods that we do make it because we want our tops ASAP. If we can get our tops right now, I can go F off and play whatever I want in any regional moving forward and say I'm nice because I top with those decks, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal, hopefully. And we'll see when that time comes around.
Fingers crossed, man. I want to play Lucimon.
You know, a Lucimon top though in the regionals, go crazy.
Exactly.
You know? That's how you get famous, you know, when you top with a random ass deck like that.
I've been waiting to find my deck. Like, it was Mirage. They took my dog behind the barn. It's kind of Jesmon.
Hey, that was your first top, right? Because that was
11th place Ultra
11th
Cup.
place, I think it was, right? 11th place Ultra Cup.
Yep. And then Jesmon was my first regional top.
Store regional win.
Well, it was a store regional and then a normal. Well, I guess they're both store regional. So store championship win. That's what I was thinking of. My first store championship win. And then my first store regional win as well was Jesmon.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I miss store championships. Whatever happened to those?
Store championships became store regionals.
Okay.
That's
cool.
basically what it is. Yeah. And then we also have Evo Cups as well now. So they're kind of like pseudo-ish.
They just feel kind of like locals plus. Like, I don't know. Store championships, I felt like carried a bigger weight. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, definitely. With that being said, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think of this meta? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Let us know. What decks are you playing? What decks are you not playing? Whatever you want to tell us. You know how it is. We read the comments. We love the comments. Whether we like it or not, we still read it. But with that being said, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Momentai, everybody.